So, today I had made some chicken, and I had filled up one of these with shouldn't say filled up. I had put aroma tomato, basil leaves from the garden, about 3 or 4 small cloves of garlic, now close to 8 now that I think about it, a serrano, a jalapeno, and some onion. Then I added coconut oil to them till it was almost over them. Then I filled the rest of this to about right there with water. Placed it in the middle of the grill over the heat and let it just steam. Well, I noticed I was getting a good caramelization. Ended up getting a little bit too caramelized, but man, it was still great. So I'm like, man, I put it in a piece of Tupperware like this. And actually that was the one. And put that stuff in there. Added some pink sea salt that you would normally put in your grinder. Regular sea salt. And then that was already ground. Added a medley peppercorn. You can buy it at the grocery store. It's different types of peppercorn. Then added another jalapeno, more garlic, and some different herbs. And I still had a lot of oil. So I just poured it in there and into that container and let them soak. Then I put this in the oven at 250 till it was kind of dry. It's actually kind of crinkly. And most of it will go into my grinder, and I'll use it as a rub and different things like that. The rest I'm going to give to family and friends, and I'll probably make another batch to give away for Christmas. But, you know, something you could try at home and, you know, just add a little flair to it. I did put some herbs like, what was it? An Italian herb mix I have, some thyme, whatever you want to call it. And, but no more pepper. I mean, it already had enough. So that's how that goes. Now I'm going to talk about another issue. I shouldn't call it, well, yeah, it's an issue. And it's important to us veterans and our families. So let me go set up. So, yesterday at the, we have a small veterans group. We meet for dinner. We try to meet for once a week, and I've mentioned it before. And we talked about, or it was just mentioned that we don't need counseling. Yeah, the counselors are useless because, and I was like, no, I wholeheartedly 1,000% disagree with this. And here's why. We need that outlet. We need to discuss our issues. And with someone that can guide us, just drop hints. I'm not asking my counselor to tell me how to live my life, but she did back the idea of this channel. She does help me. Over the holiday, we didn't have a session, and last week, due to some health issues, I canceled. I could have made it, but to be honest, I emotionally and physically couldn't do it. But that's not an excuse. I still should have done it. But, you know, as veterans, we come back from a war. We're changed people. And our families expect the people that left. And we need to set boundaries and say, look, I'm not that person anymore. I'm different. And a lot of times our families are saying, well, you don't go to a group therapy or go to a veterans dinner because for some reason or other, it shows a weakness, or it's that we can't depend on them. It's not an issue of depending on our family to fix us, because honestly, we can't be fixed. We can be made functional. We can become functional. But that broken part is always in us. And it will always be a part of us. That's what makes us us now. For our family to say, or to expect us to become that other person that left, is unfair to us. And that's who we need to be fair to. We ourselves need to say, that ain't happening. And they may get hurt. But you know what? We have to deal with ourselves. So that's why I love counseling, because it helps me deal not only with myself, but my other relationships, my family, my friends. And I'm lucky enough to have a ton of veterans friends. And so for others to say, well, why can't you fix yourself? Well, because you walk in my shoes and see what happens. Yeah. But we need that counseling, because it helps us from replying to certain things with "bitch be for real." Yeah. Because face it, we all feel like throat punch Thursday at times, and are blowing up on people, or just trying to avoid a subject. I mean, face it, we try to avoid certain subjects. And that causes tension. And what we need to do, and if you're watching this and you're a family member, you better get it done. You're going to drive us away with your, why can't you fix yourself? You're going to drive us away quicker. And that's unfair to you as a family member, as a family, and unfair to the veteran. As us vets, we need to put up that barrier, whatever it may be, that boundary. Say, look, you're crossing the boundary. It's not your place. And that's where counseling comes in, because we're able to, when you actively go to your counselor and discuss these things. Hey, my family brought this up, my significant other, whatever. How do I respond correctly? Because I blew up at them. So now I've got to make amends. And you've heard me say before, if I tell you I'm sorry, I'm just saying, too bad you got your panties in your water. If I'm saying I'm going to make amends, I'm going to try to change my behavior. Doesn't mean we're going to bow down to that family member. It just means we're going to handle the situation differently, so the tension isn't as bad. The tension's going to be there. We just want to control the amount of tension. So that's where I think counseling comes in. If you get prescribed meds and you don't take them, you're an idiot. A lot of people take them for 2 or 3 weeks and I'm done, it don't work. Right now I'm taking a new heart med, and I probably shouldn't be doing that, but it's going to take me 4 weeks. So I have to learn, and even if, lessens the symptoms, because the situation is always going to be there. Even if it lessens that symptoms, I have to learn to adjust my lifestyle around that medication and its effects. Because when I'm good, I'm good. I'm great. When I'm bad, I just got to learn, hey, I just got to tell my friends I can't do it today. And hopefully they understand. And if they don't, well, that's their problem, not mine. I do have to take care of me. Most of my friends, I would say 99% of my friends understand. And they worry about me. Or I should say they're concerned. Because I'm concerned about their well-being too, if I don't hear from them. So there's that. And you're wondering, well, what's wrong with you? And it's hard to explain, but I will say a lot of it was hiding from the truth, what was bothering me, and self-medicating and illicit drugs, over alcohol, the whole 9 yards. And we gotta stop that, guys. And I still drink beer, big deal. But it's caused issues with me with the prior illicit drugs. The stress now of learning how to be I'm never gonna be human. I'm always gonna be a veteran that experienced trauma, and I'm not gonna try to be human. I'm just gonna try to be a better vet with trauma experiences and PTSD and anxiety. Don't expect me to be human, because fuck that sucks. You know. But guys, if you're self-medicating, quit that shit and get help. If you're so deep that you gotta go to rehab, fine, go to rehab. I did it. Hell, I went to mental state rehab. I went to mental state again. Thing is, get the help you need. And if it embarrasses, oh my God, I swear to God, if it embarrasses your family, they don't need to be your family. Remember, it's about you, not them. It's your recovery, your program, you getting right with yourself. Getting good with your counselor yet again. It's about you. Your family should not be your downfall. Your family should not be the one keeping you from getting your help. And I'm not saying my family does. It's just, I've seen it so many times. You know, I mean, we had these dinners and people are like, oh, we love that. Bitch, get off the couch and come over. We're not forcing, yeah, we're gonna have beers. We may even have some shots, but you know what? We're not, if you have an issue, we're not gonna force you. We're not gonna bend your arm. You know, we're going to respect that you're sober and you don't want to drink or whatever. We're going to respect that. We're still going to treat you like our fellow brother and sister. So don't use that as a fucking excuse to get out there with your community of veterans and discuss these issues, or say, hey, how do you handle this or that situation? Because yes, sometimes we relate better as veterans to each other than with our counselors. Because face it, you get a counselor that's 30 years old, that's never served, well, he doesn't have the life experience as you do. So, anyways, I'm going to leave it at that. Guys, I love you. Go to the VFW. American Legion, whatever it may be. Toys for Tots, support them. Be part of your community. Engage. Don't sit in the house. Anyways, good night.